Lastly, I've just been explaining about last day has been explained about inheritance. Okay, we completed 5 rules. What is the fifth rule? In modern object-oriented programming languages like Java, .NET, and Python, we don't have a support for multiple and hybrid inheritances. We don't have support for multiple and hybrid inheritances to classes. What is supported? Only single, multi-level and hierarchical. Single, multi-level and hierarchical are only the inheritances that are supported to you. Single supported, multi-level supported, and hierarchical is supported. But what not supported? Multiple and hybrid inheritances are not supported. Okay, so done. What next? Yeah, all of you, I will look at this. You are in which class now? Class 2. And you are creating the instance of the class 2. And already you learned in the last day, remember, when you create the instance of the child class, the constructor first jumps to its own constructor, and from there jumps to parent constructor. So what did I say? How many parents are there? It will call each and every constructor until the top. But on the top, we always have object only. Now the execution will start from that object class constructor. Now the execution is going to start from the object class constructor. So this is what I already explained to you in your previous sessions. This is what I already explained to you in the last session, not last, previous. Okay, day before yesterday. We just been learned about that one. If you want to help me to break point again, you can verify. Run. Execution starts from here. Control first jumps to its own constructor. From here, control jumps to parent constructor, executes the parent constructor. Actually, internally, guys, it went to object class constructor also. We don't have a source code of object class now, so we can't see that. But internally, it went to where? Object class constructor also it went. Okay, now. Okay. So now we are just going to get the execution of this one. Next, again, class 2 constructor. Next, main method. Is it clear, all of you? Yes or not? Now tell me, child class constructor is implicitly calling the parent, sorry, in the above process, what we noticed, child class constructor is implicitly calling the parent class constructor for execution. Am I right or wrong? Come on, yaar. In the above process, what we noticed, child class constructor is implicitly calling the parent class's constructor for execution. Yes, the child class constructor is calling the parent class constructor for execution. This is what exactly happens behind the screen. Are you people clearer or not? What happens? The child class constructor implicitly calling the parent class's constructor for execution. That is what exactly happens to you over there. Child class constructor is calling the parent class constructor for execution. Okay, fine. But problem is, listen, child class constructor can implicitly call the parent class constructor only when the parent class constructor is default. I repeat, child class constructor can implicitly call the parent class constructor only when the parent class constructor is default. Right now, verify your parent class constructor is default or not. Don't sleep, yaar. Answer. Child class, parent class constructor is default or not? Yes, it's a default constructor. And because it's a default constructor, child class constructor is implicitly calling the parent class constructor for execution now. But for suppose, if the parent class constructor is parameterized, if the parent class constructor is parameterized, Mr. Kranti Rathod, you came to the class for time in the classroom, huh? Useless fellow. Don't play with the system. So see now, I made the parent class constructor as parameterized. It was a parameterized constructor. And because it's a parameterized constructor now, what is the problem, You get an error in the child class now. You get an error in the child class. See the error? Where you're getting? Child class constructor is giving an error. What is the error? There is no argument given that corresponds to the required formal parameter I of class 1 dot class 1. Are you clearer or not? Okay, so listen. In the first rule of inheritance, I have shown you. What I shown you? Child class constructor implicitly calls parent class constructor for execution. Correct? Now I'm telling you, this implicit calling will work only when the parent class constructor is default. But it won't work when the parent class constructor is parameterized. Means implicit calling will not work now. So you get an error. Can anyone tell me how to resolve it? Think yourself. The answer is straight away in the question only. I repeat my question again. Listen. Child class constructor is implicitly calling the parent class constructor for execution. But this calling is possible only when it is default, but not when it is parameterized. Okay? How to resolve it? Louder. Explicit calling, not explicit constructor. Explicit calling. We require to go for explicit calling. To resolve this problem, we need to perform explicit calling. Did you guys understand or not? So what is the current scenario? Implicit calling. That's not working. If implicit call doesn't work, to resolve the problem, go with explicit calling. Shall we go with an explicit calling now? Come on, guys. We'll perform an explicit calling now. How to do an explicit calling? Watch. How to do an explicit calling? From class 2 constructor, you need to call class 1 constructor. Means that is your parent class, correct? You can call in different ways here. You can call it parent class. You can call super class. You can call base class. All three terminologies are same. You can call parent, or you can call super, or you can call base. Anything you call. Okay, now watch. Class 2, when I say colon base, base means parent class here, base means parent class. See, when I use the base keyword, this directly refers to which class? See? Class 1. Are you getting me? And what it takes? Int parameter. Pass the integer value. Pass the integer value. Run the code. Watch. Execution started from here. From here, first control jumps to its own constructor. And that is in turn calling the base class constructor. Are you clear? And then executing from there. Got it? Yes or not? But the value what I passed here is static value, guys. Always the same 10 goes. Parameter means that should be dynamic every time a new value. But you're passing 10 means always the same value 10 will go. Correct or not? I want to pass a different time, not the same. If that is the case, do one thing. What Define a parameter to class 2 constructor also. For example, I'm defining a parameter, int x. Now tell me, when I'm creating the instance of class 2, should I pass a value for x or not? Tell me. Be active, yeah. Easily be active. Okay? So we need to pass a parameter value for this. What is that? Int here. So guys, look, error here. Why error here? Array, you're not passing a value. So error coming. So let's pass a value 50. Now the value 50 comes to x, they are not class 2. X, sir. The value 50 comes to x. Correct? This x I am passing to my parent. Watch. Are you clear? Array, what did you learn in constructors classes? In constructor classes we learned by using a constructor I can pass a value to The fields of a class, like in initialized fields, means when instance is created, a value can be passed to that constructor fields. Okay. Now what are we doing in learning here, By creating a child class instance, we are passing a value to parent class constructor. Last week, what we learned, by creating the instance of the same class, we are passing values to the same class. But today, creating instance of child class and passing the value to parent class. Are you guys clearer or not? Means whenever you create the child class instance, the value first comes to child class constructor. From the child class constructor, the value will be passing to the parent class constructor. And in this process, remember guys, I defined a parameter int x there, right? That x, that int x, what I use it there, I'm passing to my parent class. If you want, you can use that x in class 2 also. If you want, you can use that x in class 2 also. I want to use x in class 2. Use it, no problem. No, I want to purely pass to parent. Right now, I done the same thing only, purely pass to parent. You want to use in child? Use in child. No, sir, I want a different value for child. Then pass another parameter, comma, int y. Now say 150, comma, 60. 50 is for parent. 60 is for child. You can pass. That's your choice. Are you getting me or not? Okay. No, sir, I want to use the same x here, the same value here also. We can use here also. No problems. Tomorrow, if you define class 3, listen carefully. If you define class 3 is responsible for sending the values to class 2. And class 2 is responsible in sending the value to class 1. Class 3 will not send the value to class 1 directly. Class 3 will first send the value to class 2. Class 2 will now send the value to class 1. So suppose you have 10 classes in the hierarchy, creating the instance of the 10th class. Now understand, from 10th class, the value first comes to 9th class. From 9th class to 8th class. 8 to 7, 7 to 6, 6 to 5, 5 to 4, 4 to 3, 3 to 2, 2 to 1. And from where the execution starts. Is it clear, all of you? Understood the 6th rule of inheritance? So what is the 6th rule of inheritance? You will call and system will execute here. You will call, system will execute. That is the difference. See, what is the 6th rule, In the first rule, we have watched. When child class instance is created, child class constructor is implicitly calling what? The parent class constructor for execution. Are you clear? This is what we learned in the first rule. Okay? See now. This implicit calling will work only when the parent class constructor is default. Whereas if the parent class constructor is parameterized. Okay, parameterized. It is the job of the developer to perform an explicit calling by using understood? This is the 6th rule. Okay, now this is the 6th rule of inheritance. So implicit calling will not work here. Because it is implicit calling will not work here, the developer job is to perform an explicit calling. How to perform an explicit calling? Base keyword. Use the base keyword, and with the help of the base keyword, just go for an explicit calling. If you do an explicit calling by using the base keyword, automatically the logic executes. Okay, now, are you clearer or not? So that is what exactly what we have. Yeah, default, implicit, parameterized, explicit. That's it. Constructor is default, implicit here. If constructor is parameterized, explicit. Okay. So guys, are you clear with all the six rules of inheritance now? Yes or not? So now I'm giving you all a task. If I have two parameterized constructors in the base class, how to call them? You can call anyone, Raju. If you have two parameterized constructors, you can call any constructor you want. You can call the first constructor or second constructor. That is identified by parameters only now. How would you know in real time class 1 constructor is parameterized or default? When to know? When to know? When to know that? Means the classes are defined by you or the classes are predefined? Answer my question. If you are using a predefined class or it is your own class, parent class is predefined, parent class is your own class. If it is your own class, you don't know what you defined in the class. You prepared something to eat now. I'm asking what is it, and you say I don't know, without knowing what you prepared then. Your question makes sense if it is predefined, not user defined. If user defined, you only defined. Yeah, where is the confusion there? If user defined, if it is predefined, intelligence will tell you. Array, in the Visual Studio, intelligence will tell you everything now. Did you understand, Prabha? If it is user defined, no confusion. That is your class only. You should know everything. Without knowing, you can't do anything. If it is predefined, the Visual Studio intelligence will tell you everything there. When you're typing, it is showing you the list now. It will show you there. Compile error will come and tells you pass the parameter. That's all. Okay? Fine. Yeah. I'm all giving you a task here. From today, I'm just going to give some serious task for you to do. What the task is, I explained about inheritance, 6 rules of inheritance to you all. Now the question is how to use inheritance in our applications. The question is how to use inheritance on your application. Say I'm spoon feeding everything from day one. Now I want you for self-learning. So for self-learning also, I'm just giving you a video. Watch the video. Notes is present on your document. In the document, I've given the notes for you. I'll give a video now. Watch the video, compare the notes, and you have to come to a conclusion there. Are you clearer or not? So what is the video? I just said you there are 60 videos in the YouTube now. Yes or not? In that I said you for every topic that I post the videos. For inheritance, I placed 3 videos. The first video demonstrates the first 3 rules of inheritance, and the second video demonstrates the next 3 rules of inheritance. And the third video demonstrates how to use inheritance in your applications. Are you clear? It's just a 20-25 minutes video, guys. Okay, I want all of you to watch that video, check your notes, and prepare and come to the next session. Tomorrow, I will raise questions on that. Okay, don't make me to scold you again. If you don't watch and don't talk and tell stories to me. Half an hour time or 20 minutes time you cannot spend means that is really going to be shame on yourself. Because you are here to learn. Don't forget that. 20-25 minutes videos will be there, that's all. Just watch the third video of inheritance. Am I clearer? I will be raising tomorrow questions on it to confirm whether you watched or not. Clear or not? In the inheritance only notes will be there. The slides, notes, everything will be there in the notes now. But I'm not demonstrating. You need to go for watching the video and you're required to go for self-learning. Video number 3 of inheritance. Is it clear all of you? If you complete that, I'll give you another task to you. Got it all of you? Okay? So fine. So I want the result for this tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be raising the questions on this and you should be in a position to answer it. Don't say I did not watch, sir. If you don't watch, don't come to class also. Understood? If you don't have time to watch, you don't come to class also, better. It's up to you. If you watch only, come to the session. Okay, fine. Yeah, we completed the inheritance now. So encapsulation done, abstraction done, inheritance done. Encapsulation done, abstraction done, inheritance done. The next concept is polymorphism. Polymorphism. Is my voice breaking? Swati Kiran, there's a problem for you, I think. When we call, it shows. What is it showing here? What error are you getting? Put a slideshow. Put a slideshow. Put a slide of it in the Google class. Put a slide of it in the WhatsApp group. What error are you getting? You say you're getting error. How do I know? What error are you getting? Okay. Take a slide of it, take a picture of it and put it in the WhatsApp group. Okay, guys. Polymorphism. So what is this polymorphism? Behaving in different ways depending upon the input received is known as polymorphism. That is, when the input changes, then the output also changes. So remember, guys, behaving in different ways depending upon the input received is known as polymorphism. I gave you an example also for all of you with exams and being topper of the college and having backlogs in the exams. I said you already about that. So if I say you're the topper of the college, you feel proud of it. When I say you have backlogs in the exams, you feel sad of it. You're the same person. When I give you different inputs, you will be behaving in different ways. When the input changes, then the output also changes. Okay, that's called polymorphism. To implement polymorphism, we have three different options. To implement polymorphism, we have three different options. What are the three different options? Overloading, overriding, hiding or shadowing. Are you guys clear? What is the first one? Overloading. Second one, overriding. Third one, hiding or shadowing. Overloading, overriding, hiding or shadowing. Is it clearer or not? Okay. So these are the three things what we just have: overloading, overriding, hiding or shadowing. So let us start with overloading. This is again divided into different categories like method overloading, operator overloading, constructor overloading, indexer overloading, and deconstructor overloading. Are you guys clear? This is again divided into different categories. Like what? Method overloading, operator overloading, constructor overloading, constructor, not construction, constructor overloading, indexer overloading, and deconstructor overloading. So let's talk about each and everything in detail. So let's start the discussion with method overloading. This is an approach of defining multiple methods in a class. In a class with the same name, This is an approach of defining multiple methods in a class with the same name. When I say this, we get a doubt. What is the doubt, Sir, yesterday you said multiple inheritance is not supported because of an ambiguity problem. And what is the ambiguity problem? If two parent classes have a same method, those two methods are now pushed to child class, and in the child class you cannot have two methods with the same name. In a class we cannot have two methods with the same name. This is what I said yesterday now. But what I'm telling you now, the approach of defining multiple methods in the class with same name. Yesterday you said this is not possible. Again today you're telling it is an approach of defining multiple methods with the same name. Are you getting my point or not? So this will be confusing now. How, sir? Yesterday you said not possible, but today again you are telling it's an approach of defining multiple methods in a class with the same name. Are you clear? There's a class with the same name by changing the parameters of that method. So I repeat, guys, this is an approach of defining multiple methods in a class with the same name by changing the parameters of those methods, What's meant with changing the parameters of those methods? Watch it, all of you. Public void show. This is a method. Now tomorrow in the same class, I cannot write a method called public void show again ambiguity. It is the same thing I explained to you yesterday. With the two classes containing the same method, multiple inheritance causes ambiguity, right? This is invalid. Because tomorrow when you call the method show, which show method? When you call the method show, which show method are you calling is confusing now. Point clearer or not? So listen guys, it's a show method which is going to take the different parameters should change now. I'm saying in Thai. Now they are different. Here. What will be changing? Parameters of the method should change. Parameters should change means what can change, You can change the number of parameters to a method. See, the first method and the second method have 0 and 1 parameter. The number of parameters is changing now. Next, you can change the type of parameters to the method. This is again different. Number of parameters are not changing. What is changing? Type of parameters are changing. One is taking integer, second one is taking string. Okay? You can also change. Guys, listen. You can also change this. Now again, number of parameters changing now. Order of parameters also can change. See, understand? You can change the number of parameters. Watch 1 and 2. Number of parameters changing now. Second one. Type of parameters can change. Watch 2 and 3. 2 and 3 have the same number of parameters, but type of parameters are changing. One is having integer, one is having strings. Third one, order of parameters should change. See 4 and 5. Int and string. Open the mouth here. Lazy, you sleep in the classroom. Open it up. What is fourth one taking? Int and string. What is fifth one taking? String and int. What is changing now? The order of parameter. What can change? Number of parameters. Type of parameters. Order of parameter. The number of parameters or the type of parameters or the order of parameters, anything can change up here. Are you clear or not? Okay. Now watch this. Public string show. Guys, listen. This is again invalid. Why, sir? Return type is changing now. Return types won't be considered. What did I say? Parameters only, not return types. Return type change won't be counted. Only parameter change only will be counted. This is again invalid. This is not taken into count at all. Okay, now, are you clearer, everyone? Okay, so this is invalid. What is the advantage? I'll tell you. What is the advantage? We'll tell you. But first, let us understand how to do that. Let us understand how to do that. Okay. Next, we'll talk on the advantage. Watch it, all of you. I'm adding a new class. We'll name as Overload methods.cs. Overload methods.cs. Simple code console.writeLine 1. Two. No. This is 3. This is 4. This is 5. Watch. I did not write any complex code. Simple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is what I printed. Okay now? So these are the 5 methods. No error anywhere. Everything is perfect. It's not showing any error. Say, you don't require to even compile the code here. The IntelliSense beauty is if there is any error, it will show off red lines now only. No need to wait for completion. No error. Static void main. Now let me create the instance of the class. What's your class? Obj is equals to new overload methods. Okay. Now when I say obj.show, see guys, IntelliSense is not showing me 5 methods here. It's showing you only 1 method. Showing me only 1 method. What is that? Show method. But guys, look, when I'm trying to call, now it shows you. What is it showing you, say? 1 of 5. First one taking no parameters. Second, int. Third, 4, 5. Are you clear how is it showing you now? It will show you like this. So now I'm calling this method. I'm calling this method. Can you tell me which method executes now? Come on, there are 5 show methods. Which method executes now? First one, first method. Are you going to by heart it? Huh? This is first method, this is second method, this is third method, this is fourth method. You'll by heart it. Huh? Then how are you doing first method here? The answer is the method without parameters. That is the answer. Don't say first method, second method. It calls the show method which doesn't take any parameters. Are you clear? What did I say? It calls the show method which doesn't take any parameters. Now tell me. It calls the show method which takes which parameter? Int as a parameter. Which takes int as a parameter. The show method which takes string as a parameter. The show method which takes string as a parameter. Are you people clear? Yes or not? It's going to take the show, call the show method which takes the string as a parameter. Okay, guys, watch. Now I'm calling it like this. What is the output? 1. Okay. Now I'm passing an integer value. What is the output? 2. I'm passing a string value. What is the output? Did you notice when the input changes, output is changing now? That only I said to you guys, when the input changes, what will change? The output changes. And all of you remember this point. What you know? When the input changes, output changes means changing input means not value of the input. Changing the input means not value of the input means if I pass 10, I want to get one value, 20, I want to get one value, 30, I want to get another value. For that, if condition is enough, here, no need polymorphisms and all. Changing input means what you know? You should either change the number or the type or the order of parameters, not value of the parameters. What should change? The number should change or forgetting the second one. Type, last one order I said you. Number or type or order should change, not value. Are you clearer or not? With a value change, you want to get a different output means if condition is enough here. No need to polymorphism na. If condition or switch case can do the job now. So here it is not about change in the value. Here it is a change in the number or the order or the type. That's important. Is it clear all of you? Yes or not? Now, have a look, guys. I'll explain you this also. Why return type changes are not counted. Why return type changes are not considered. Okay. Now tell me, guys, which show method will be called now? The show method without parameters. Pretty clear, you can see now. But suppose if I write a method, public string show return hello world, and now come back here, and now you see, guys, which show method are you calling me? Is the show method without parameters, but there are two show methods which are not taking parameters now. Ambiguity or not? But return types are different now, sir. Array return type comes into picture in the end of the method execution. You don't know where to start at all first, where to end is secondary. Return type comes into picture in the to start the method, end of the method. At first you don't know where to start here. Why do you talk about end of the things now? Are you clearer or not? Okay, so that's what the point. So you're getting, see, red line. What is that red line indicating? See the error message? The call is ambiguous between the following methods. What are those? Show. That is also show only. Show and show only. Are you clearer? But parameter change will easily identify the things. But a return type change cannot identify the things. That's why return types are not at all counted. Is it clear? But see now, do you have any confusion in this calls? Just a minute. Do you have any confusion in this calls? Tell me, all of you. Any confusion? See, if a human brain only cannot understand, how a computer can understand? A computer is intelligent than you are. Is a computer intelligent than a human brain? A human brain designed a computer. Computer did not design a human brain. Remember that point first. A computer is not intelligent than a human brain. If a human brain cannot answer this question, a computer also cannot answer the question. See, computers are designed to perform a work faster. That's all. Remember that point. Computer does everything what I say. Computer doesn't take any decisions on its own. It is just a brainless machine. It's a brainless machine which is only designed to do a work faster than me. That's it. Are you clearer or not? It can do a work faster than me. That's all. But doesn't mean that computer is going to be superpower and it can decide everything and it can do. It doesn't. If a computer starts thinking on its own, what happens, You saw that in number of movies here. It's a destruction only. Robo. If a computer starts thinking on its own, what will happen, You saw the movie now, Robo, Rise of the Machines, Terminator. All these movies you watched it? In all this, the concept is same only. What is the concept? Machine starts thinking on its own. If that happens, the world is destructed, destruction of the world. That is the important point all should remember. So, a computer never has any thinking capability. It only performs actions as I say. But it is capable of doing faster than me. You know that when the first computer was introduced in the world, okay, what is the speed of the computer, you know? A mathematical calculation which takes 28 hours, which takes 28 hours for a human brain to calculate, is done by a computer by 1 second. A big mathematical calculation which is performed by a computer, by a human brain in 28 hours, not exactly 28 hours, some minutes also present. The computer can do the same thing in 1 second. Are you clear? So we are using the computers to speed up the things. That is the important point all should know. Okay, fine. Fine. So I hope you guys are clear. Understood polymorphism now? So overloading of the methods, changing the number, type and order. Return type change will not be considered. So tomorrow you went for an interview. And interviewer asked a question. What is the question? What is method overloading and why should we use it? The question is, what is method overloading and why should we use it? Why should we use it? I can give different names to each method now. What advantage do I get giving the same name for all the methods? Did you get my question? Sir, why to write the same name? I can write show 1, show 2, show 3, show 4, show 5. Nah. Why do you same name for all the methods now? What is the benefit of giving that? Let's try to understand about it. Say, it is an approach of defining a method with multiple behaviors. Okay, so understand, it's an approach of defining a method with multiple behaviors. Okay, and those behaviors will vary based on the number, type and order of parameters. Read that carefully. It's an approach of defining a method. A method means singular or plural? Singular only, na? An approach of defining a method means one method with multiple behaviors, and those behaviors will vary based on the number, type and order of parameters. It will vary based on the number, based on the type and based on the order of parameters. Are you clear what I said here? I'll explain you. Watch. String str1 is equals to hello world. Okay. String str1 is equals to hello world. I declared a string. In this string, how many characters are there? 10 characters with one space, total 11. 10 characters here with one space, total 11. Correct? Huh? And every character has a position. We call that as an index, where the index starts from 0. H is at 0th position and the D is at 10th position. H is at 0th position, D is at 10th position. Can you tell me the position of W? Why 7? Yeah, 6. Count from 0. Not 1. What is the position of W? 6. Right, there are 10 characters there now. If I ask you the position of W, you count it like this. But tomorrow, if I give a string of 1,000 characters, and ask you where a character is there, is it easy to count? Easy to count? There will become a headache now to count. We may be wrong. So to get this value, string class directly provides you one method in it. What is the method, you know? Simple English, guys. Simple English, understand. Index of the character you want. It directly returns the value. What value? 6. Okay. See now. str1 dot index of h. 0, yeah. Index starts from 0. str1 dot index of d 10. Okay. str1 dot index of a. Come on, answer. Return type is integer. Return type is integer. So you should get the result as integer only. Think now. Return type of the method is integer, yeah. So you should get the return result as integer only. Think now what you can get there. 0, no chance, because 0 means first character. Yes or not? So the result is -1. -1 indicates not existing. Actually, if index starts from 1 year, 0 is not existing. But unfortunately, index is starting at 0. So that's why what is not existing now? Is everyone clear? The result should be integer, yaar. Existing or not, error won't throw. Array, it won't throw error. It runs -1, telling you array is not existing there. Are you people clear? Yes or not? Now, look. Now tell me, guys. But there are two O's. 4 and 5 won't come. One only will come. 2, 3 values won't come as a result. One value only will come. Either it should be 4 or 7. What comes? 4. Right. Perfect. Why, sir? Because search will start from 0th character. When the search identifies the character, it will stop the search there now. The search identified 0 at 4th place. Sorry, O at 4th place. Search will stop there. It won't continue the search again. It won't continue the search again. Now we have a problem. See now. What is the problem? How to get the index of the second O, sir? How to get the index of the second O? O, comma, 5. What is 5? The starting position for the search. The starting position for the search. By default, search will start at where? 0. Array, by default, search will start at 0. But now I'm telling start the search from 5. Understand now, the method name is same. The behavior is different now. In the first case, it will start the search from 0th character. In the second case, it will start the search from 5th character. Are you clearer or not? Now understand, the method is same only. See, a method means it's one method only, but the method has multiple behaviors here, and those behaviors will vary based on number. See, number is changing now. Sometimes type, sometimes order of parameters. So did you people understand what is meant by method overriding now? Yes or not? Okay, method is same only, but behaviors will be varying. What is the result now? 7. The result now is 7. Okay, now, guys, suppose you have a string here. String str2 is equals to. If second row is in 5th place, 5 only will come here. Everything in 5, 5 will come now. When you start the system, 0, 0 is coming now. When you start the system, 5, 5 will come, no problem. I have a string, another string, str2. I have another string, str2 now. Okay. Now I want to get the index position of p in that string now. The index position of d in the string. So how do I call str2 dot index of d? How many are there? Here is one. Here is two. Now what it returns me? First one. What it returns me are first one. Are you clearer or not? Something, the first one is at some 58 character or 60 something. Now if I pass that, it will return me second one. So this will return what? First position. What is the next position now? str2 dot index of what? Day, comma. You're required to specify the starting position of the search character or not? Can I write like this? Can I write like this? This will give you the first position. That's one. So start from there now. So now you get the second occurrence. So this will return you what? Not first position. What will returns you? First occurrence. What will this return you? Not second occurrence. The next occurrence. Are you clear? And now all of you carefully listen. Till now, how many overloads did you see for the method index of? Till now, how many overloads did you see for the method index of? How many overloads did I explain you till now? Louder. 4. 4 overloads we saw till now. 4 overloads? Yes, yeah. First overload taking character. Second overload taking character and integer. Third overload taking string. Fourth overload taking string and integer. Yes or not? Like this, there are 10 overloads. How many? The word index of, is it descriptive or not? I'm talking in English only, yeah. You put places like this. Open up. Come on. The word index of, is it descriptive or not? Yes, the word descriptive, index of is very descriptive. Index of a character, index of a string. It's descriptive or not? There are 10 overloads for the method. How many? 10 overloads. Right now I saw 4, but another 6 are there. Totally 10 are there. If I want to give a different name to each method, can you tell me 10 words that are going to give the same name now, same meaning now? I will give 10 different names here. I don't use overloading. Actually, that is only our question. Why to give same name? Why can't we give different names? I'll give different names. Tell me 10 words which have the same meaning now. The word index is descriptive. It's very clear for all of us. Now you give me 10 words that are going to have the same meaning. Index of. Just like you read the word, you should understand the meaning of it. Can you tell me 10 words now which are going to have the same meaning now? Tell me, yaar. Can you tell me 10 words which are having the same name? Is it easy? Or you should scan the dictionary and your brain will not function now. Or 10 words having the same meaning to find out. Yes or not? And you might be an expert in English, you can understand. But what about the other people? Index of is simple, descriptive. But all the people cannot understand this. If you give different names. So to overcome this problem only, they're using the same name. Now you're required to remember, see if 10 methods have 10 names, do you know what the problem? You're required to remember 10 names and 10 signatures also. 10 names and 10 signatures means the 10 methods parameters. But you have one name, what is the advantage, You're required to remember one name and 10 signatures. Which one is better? Remembering 10 names and 10 signatures, or remembering one name and 10 signatures? That is what overloading means. The easiest one is one name and 10 signatures. So that is what overloading is all about. Because of this overloading, you don't require to remember multiple. One name you remember, remaining thing IntelliSense will show you how many parameters it will take for you. Are you clear? See now, come here. String str is equals to hello world. And now str dot, what is the method? Index of. Now IntelliSense will start showing me how many are there. Watch. First one takes char value. Second one, third one, char and start index. Fourth one, character, string comparison. What is string comparison? Basically, when you are performing in MS Word, you saw that Control F, find. When you go to find, you type whatever you find, and below that you have an option match case. If you select match case, only when case matches only it will search for you. If you don't select that match case, irrespective of the case, it will tell you the word existence, correct? That is also same only here. String comparison is to tell whether you want to match case or whether you want to ignore case. If I say match case, it will return me only when the case is matching. If I say ignore case, it doesn't matter the case matching now. It present in any case, it will return you. Spelling should match, but not the case. That's what compare case. Same way. Start index. Next. Comparison. Okay, next. Char, start index count. What is start index count? Actually, guys, the string is 1000 characters length. But I want to search between 100 to 200 character only. I want to search between 100 character to 200 character only. I don't want to search all the 1000. That only see. In start index, and how many? Means I want to set from 100 to 200. Means starting index is 99. How many characters you want to check? 200 means comma 100, not 199. 99 comma 100 means from 99 search for 100 characters. Is it clear? Next one. Same only. Start index count. Start index string comparison. String value, start index, count, comparison. Are you clear? So now I don't require to remember all these names here. I require to remember only one name, index of. I'll tell you a best beautiful example for you. Right line here. The right line is a method. Have you noticed? Right line is printing whatever you pass to it. The right line method is printing whatever you pass to it or not. How? Because right line is overloaded. Because right line is overloaded. Is it overloaded? Yes. There are 18 overloaded right line methods. How many? Watch if you want. Console dot right line. Remember, you called a right line which doesn't take a parameter also for printing line breaks and arrays. Bold value, char value, character array, decimal, double, float, int, long, object, string, event, ulong, string and object. String, array, we used this already. We learned about this params. Character array, int and int. Character array, two objects. Sorry, string and two objects. String and three objects. Like this, it has overloaded methods. If overloading is not there, do you know what will be the problem now? If every method is going to have a different name, when you are printing now, based on the value you are printing, you should call the appropriate method. Suppose you want to print a double value. You need to call a method of right line which takes double as a parameter, something like right line double. If you want to take a print a string, you need to call a method which is taking a string like right line string. Array, like this 18 methods, 18 names is easy. 18 methods, one name is easy. One name, pass whatever it is, it will identify which method and executes to you. Understood all of you? That what exactly overloading is all about, and that's why we use overloading in our applications. I hope you guys are clear about overloading now. Yes or not? So tomorrow someone asks you in an interview what is meant by method overloading. What's your answer now? If you ask the question, what is meant by method overloading? What's your answer? Louder. What is meant by method overloading? If you sit silently like this, he'll ask you, get out from the interview now. Open here. If you cannot answer to me, what can you answer to the interviewer? Behavior? Same? That's not I said to you. Same class with a different behavior. So why class came for you now? Yeah, same class you're telling. We're talking methods and you're telling class. Defining method with multiple behaviors. That's what I said to you here. Just now I said to you, it's a method with multiple behaviors. What is the answer? It's an approach of defining a method with multiple behaviors. And those behaviors will vary based on the number, the type, and the order of parameters. The number, type, and order of parameters. Based on that, the behaviors vary. This is the answer what you're required to give. It's an approach of defining a method with a method. It's one method only. Count it like one method only. A method with multiple behaviors. One method only, but it has multiple behaviors. And those behaviors are based on the number, the type, and order of the parameters. Okay, now, if I ask you, can you give me any example? The easiest example, the best example, what we are using from day one, that is right line. Just to talk about the right line method. Right line method is defined with 18 overloads. I can just call this method for passing, for printing any type of value. Okay, so whatever type I pass, it will invoke the appropriate method which is going to match it, which is going to match the requirement. Clear for all of you? That's the answer what you just required to give. Okay. And one more thing I want to clarify you. See, you can overload methods. You can overload methods either within the same class or between parent-child classes also. I'm combining both the two things now. Explain inheritance now. I'm bringing inheritance also here now. What's it? Right now, you overloaded the show method. Where in one class, what is the class name? Overload methods. I overloaded in overload methods. Point clear? You can overload, you can perform this overloading, between, you can perform this overloading between parent and child classes also. I repeat guys, you can perform this overloading between parent and child classes also. Between the parent and child classes also, overloading can be performed. What do you mean by that? Watch it. Look, all of you. I'm defining a class here called as load parent. I'm defining a class here called as load parent. Okay, now just watch it. I'm writing a method here. Public void test. Public void test. Console.writeLine parent class test method is called. Simple code. Parent class test method is called. Now let me add one more class here. Let me add one more class here. I will name this class as load child. The class name is load child. Now this load child I want to inherit from. Automatically all the rules of inheritance comes into picture. You can create the instance of the load child and call the test method of the parent class now. Yes or not? Static void main. Create the instance of child class and you can straight away call the parent class method. Nothing new. This is what we already learned from last 2 days. This is what we already learned from the last 2 days. What is that? Parent class test method is called. Parent class test method is called. You're calling the parent class as test method. Point clear? Fine, well and good. Now, I just called a method. So right now load child inherits a method from the parent. Right now load child inherits a method from the parent. What is the method name? Test. I can add new methods in the child class now. I can add new methods in the child class. Previous example, what I said you, test 1, test 2, test 3, test 4, I defined you. Same way I can define a new method. If I want, I can even overload the method also. I can even overload the method also. Watch guys. This method in the parent. This is the method in the parent. Let me copy. Paste it in the child. Are you guys clear? I am overloading between parent and child classes. So we call this as inheritance based overloading. What do we call? Inheritance based overloading. You can overload methods in the same class or you can overload methods between parent and child classes. And remember all of you, if the child class wants to overload the method, it doesn't require to take any permission from the parent class. If the child class wants to overload the method, it doesn't require to take any permission from the parent class. Not required, not required. Where did I take permission? Did I take any permission? Directly I went to child class and I written off the method. I hope everyone is clear. What did you do? Class 1. Here you have a method, a public void test. Next, class 2, inheriting from class 1. Again you done? That's all. That's it what we done. Is it clear guys? What is this called? Inheritance based overloading. Inheritance based overloading. Guys, I want to give a different name. I'm giving a name here. Let's show. I'm giving a name here. Show. Valid na? Array, what is the difference? Same only. You changed the name, that's all. It's valid. Yes or not? What about this? I'm telling you, answer here. LKG kids are better than you. You're worse than them. Answer. Something you should say na. Is it clear? Answer. Valida, invalida? Valida, invalida? That's valid. That is valid, guys. It's not an error. It's valid. But ambiguity, same name. Methods with the same name, it should be ambiguous, huh? That's valid. It's a new concept. What is that? What did I say? Polymorphism can be implemented in 2 ways. First one, overloading, not method overloading. Overloading. Second one, overriding. Third one, hiding. Are you clear? Till now, what did you learn? Now it is overriding. What is overriding, sir? Overriding means if a parent classes method, if a parent classes method is re-implemented under the child class, if a parent classes method is re-implemented under the child class exactly with the same name and signature, we call it as overriding. Is the point clear or not? What did I say? If the parent class method is re-implemented, understand the word, re-implemented in the child class exactly with the same name and signature, name same, parameters also going to be same, then what we call it as overriding. Are you clearer or not? Now compare both the two things, overloading and overriding. Overloading means same name, different signatures, same name, overriding. Same name, same signature. Array, name is same, signature is also same now. Okay, next. Overloading can be done within a class, as well as within parent-child classes also. Just now I shown you both the two things. Within a class as well as parent-child. Overriding can never be done within a class. Concentrate here. Can never be done within a class. Can be done only between parent and child classes. Within the class, it's not possible. It is possible only between parent and child classes. Okay. Third difference. What do you know? To overload a method of parent in child, to overload a parent's method in child, child doesn't require permission. Yes, no, I practically shown you. Yes or not? But if I want to override, permissions are required. If you want to override, what is required? Means without permission, can't we do that, sir? No, you can't. Permissions are required. You require permission to perform this. Point clear, all of you? What is required? Permissions are required. Next, overloading. Overloading means multiple behaviors. Overloading means multiple behaviors. Overriding means changing the behavior. Overriding means changing the behavior. What is it, changing the behavior? I'll explain you. All of you, just what will you do is complete that video. After completing the video, notes is here for you. Continuation, your polymorphism, method overloading, and continuation for that, your method overriding also. Are you clear? And the method overriding, first given the chart, first given the table, differences between overloading and overriding. So read that up to there and say, tomorrow I'll show you implementation. I did not ask you to implementation code. Don't check that. Up to the table which is going to tell you the differences between overloading and overriding. Up to that study and come to the session. Is that clearer? The four differences are there. 1, 2, 3 you will easily understand. You will be confused only with the last one. Okay, I will tell you what is the last difference in the tomorrow's session and I will show you by practical implementation of that. Clear? Let's stop here. We'll meet tomorrow.